Afternoon everybody, we're in the larder this afternoon. Our roebuck season has pretty much come to a close now, so we've kept a small selection of heads from the season just as some little personal reminders of where we were and what we were doing, and also it gives a really good overview of whether our management structure is working. We can see that smaller animals are coming through with really good genetics. Let's have a look at a couple of them. As a great example of that, this roe yearling here, he's lovely. As you can see, he's just starting to put these back tines through. Really good, beautiful little uniformed animal. Unfortunately, as anybody who manages deer knows, we have to take deer of all ages. At the other end of the scale, we have this gentleman here. He has been the custodian of a plantation for a long time now. He's well into his years. He's not starting to slope as much as I thought he would, but real thick in the bases. His back tines and his tops have shrunk from last year, but he has put on mass at the bottom. However, in that area, there's a roebuck with a much more uniform set, slightly younger in his years, who's starting to give this guy a run for his money, and 2 bucks of that size in an area is only ever going to cause you issues. Again, further testament to the management that we're doing there. Probably a 2 or second, possibly third year buck without a T-section. You know, you can never accurately tell, and it's all a little bit finger in the air. But again, a lovely 6-point example there. Beautiful little uniformed roebuck. To me, this is demonstrative that in the time we've been looking after the ground, which most of these animals came from, they came from an amalgamation of a couple of pieces of ground we look after along the same strategy. Forestry concerns, you're always going to have deer, so your best option in that area is to leave larger deer to manage the small ones and give them a little bit of a helping hand where you can. Another example here, great uniformed 6-point roebuck. Not masses of age on him, very small little sort of coronets at the bottom there, and no sort of indications of major age, just a population issue there where the landowner is wanting less deer on the ground. Again, forestry concern, thin them out, lets you leave the larger bucks to manage that population. Another chap here off a different piece of land, one that we haven't had for as long. He last year was a 6-pointer. You can see on this side here, this point has now melted away. Again, I'm not convinced there's huge amounts of age on him in terms of, you know, I wouldn't say he's at the end, but he's just starting to slant a little bit, and his counterpart in the area is a lovely uniform 6-pointer, and 2 of those guys in an area, especially one with an antler that's starting to form like this, somebody is going to end up in a very poor state of affairs when those guys meet in a competitive level. So we asked quite often, why do we keep heads? There's a big stigma around what some individuals call trophy hunting. Great example of that, I've got a little muntjac here. Not particularly impressive muntjac, lovely little example. He's quite a uniform, pretty little animal. He's you know, nothing that would sort of stand him out as a particularly good muntjac. But that one there, my youngest comes stalking with me now. He's just turned 9, and this is the first muntjac we shot together, and we're going to keep that head, which to me really is part of, as well as what this gives us from an overview from your management perspective, that's a memory, that muntjac, that will go on my son's wall as the first muntjac. He was present when it was shot. I've kept the first roebuck, he was with me as well. Obviously this isn't every roebuck we've shot this year, but these are the ones that I feel were not worth spending the time on, but were ones that I was more inclined to spend the time doing the prep work for. So I'll get these done over the weekend, and I'll do some more content when they're done and show everybody what they look like.